right, Aries, let's talk about June 2025. This is for you, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Particularly, I will be talking about the astrology in the extended, and this is probably most likely going to resonate more for Aries Sun and Aries Rising. So if you're not that, but this still resonates for you, that's possible. The astrology won't really be addressing your particular chart. So look at your rising sign, okay, for that. All right, let's see where we're going for Aries. What is coming through for Aries? Well, there's Saturn. We have Saturn in your sign of Aries right now. Moved in last 10 days ago, and it's going to be there for the summer, going to pop back into Pisces. And then next year, February 20th, circle that on a calendar. It is going to be conjunct Neptune at 0 degrees of your sign, which is a super powerful degree. And it is like the moment of birthing of a new cycle. And with those two powerful planets sitting right there together, one of the things that you could see about that, that you could say about that, sorry, is that Saturn is restricting the dreams of Neptune, or Neptune is kind of running away from the discipline of Saturn. That's in your first house. So this is likely going to be about your identity. And there may be, Saturn's going to be there for the next, after February 20th, for 2 years. And so there's something about identity that you might have to work through, especially if you're doing anything that is like sticking your head in the sand about anything, or running away from things, or, addictions of any kind. If that's not really happening for you, then that's super duper positive to me, because that says that now we're talking about giving some structure to your dreams, which I love. There's Saturn again. Oh my God. Karmic path, safe travel. Wow. And water. Lots of Cancer energy going on. And that's another cardinal sign. So we'll get into that in a little bit. We do have a new moon in Cancer on the solstice, moving to the end of June. Saturn coming out twice. So there's some work here. Saturn's about discipline. Saturn's about regulations. Saturn's about restrictions. Saturn is saying to you, hey, maybe where I am right now is a little too tight for my liking. Maybe you've been very hard on yourself and very disciplined, and it's not getting you anywhere. So I'm going to bust out. On the other hand, you could have been too fanciful and too much in a fantasy about something, and it's time to really get real. So let's see what the reading has to say for Aries for June 2025. Woo! All right. Restriction, right? 8 of Swords. There you are, Aries. Here's the King of Swords. Boy, I was blind, but now I see. Wow, I was blind, but now I see. 3 of Wands, turning my back on something. Surrendering. I feel like some of you stayed stuck in something because you didn't want to see it. You didn't want to see it. You didn't want to know from it. And maybe this has to do with your own behavior. Maybe it has to do with somebody else's behavior. But I feel like there is a beautiful enlightenment coming up here. I feel like maybe it's like time to get out of Dodge. Time to travel. Time to do what you want to do. Okay? Especially if this last, if you're dealing with an Aquarius, for sure. All right? Because that King of Swords is Aquarius. Page of Wands. 5 of Swords. Aries, you're not usually naive about anything. Here's Cancer. You're not usually very naive about things, but I feel like this is a hope. Like you're hoping someone will not be a jerk, or you're hoping someone will not have, maybe it's your partner that has an addiction. Maybe you're hoping, and they're really being manipulative. There's Cancer energy. And like I said, there's a lot of, we have a new moon in Cancer. We have Jupiter moving into Cancer, and that's all squaring you. And squares are about tension and, I don't know, drama, but it's like, um, it's like the struggle between freedom and responsibility or something like that. And like, if you've been the one that's been super responsible, I feel like you do go toward the opposite. Or if you've been the one who's super irresponsible, you go towards the opposite. Okay. That's likely, look at that, more Aquarius energy. We have Pluto moving through Aquarius right now, and that's in your 11th house of social groups, networks. Six of Pentacles, they could be helpful to you. Ooh, Five of Wands, Ace of Swords, High Priestess, Ace of Pentacles. Love, love, love. Okay. So, I'm feeling that you have people around you who are not very helpful in whichever way this is sitting with you. If you've been very irresponsible, then it's sort of like time to pay the piper. If you've been very responsible, it's time to break out and do something, wonderful for yourself. And Saturn, Saturn leaves a gifty. So Saturn moving through your sign says, have you done your homework? Have you done the work? So if there's a situation that's going on right now, I do not like this. Okay. Five of Swords and the Five of Wands. Some of you are dealing with a partner who is doing something behind the scenes. I don't know what it is. It could be different for each one of you. There's secrets going on behind the scenes. There's other people involved. I feel like you're not wanting to take that in or not wanting to admit it. But now, I was blind, but now I see, is coming up. And you stepping into being someone who's seeing things from a new perspective here is going to ruffle some feathers, or is going to change the dynamic, let's say. It changes the dynamic. So this Page of Wands, this could also be like out of the mouths of babes. So somebody could say something to you, and that causes this Five of Wands, Five of Swords. No, doesn't cause the Five of Swords. It's about the Five of Swords. It's about somebody trying to, look at this. It's about somebody trying to win at all costs. Five of Swords, see how these two people are smaller over here? Like, he's got all the swords. It's like, F off. This guy, the rich guy, giving these two people like breadcrumbs, it looks like to me. And so there's definitely something here. If you are dealing with a relationship, especially with a Cancerian, I got a lot of Cancer here, or an Aquarian, there's something out of balance. And I feel like you haven't wanted to see it, or you haven't wanted to acknowledge it. Now, it might be with you, you're out of balance, they're out of balance, something like that, but the relationship is not good. I feel like this is with a water sign, probably a Cancerian. Now, the Five of Wands here, there's like conflict. Conflict is coming up about this. Okay, conflict is coming up. I feel like that's before you turn your back. So conflict is coming up. Knight of Wands, Ten of Swords. Oh boy. Page of Swords and the Eight of Cups. So I see that you might get some, there could be some gossip around a partner who is, dealing with other people. I don't know if this is a committed person or not. Feels like you guys have two very strong personalities. And I feel like this is done. Okay. So you've been in a situation that has forced a lot of growth. That's what these Saturn ones are showing me here. And maybe this has been Piscean energy too, because we've just had Saturn in Pisces for 2.5 years. So there can be something about a past life connection with this person. And I feel like now you're stepping into a new chapter. This is over. And I really feel like you're just going to take off. Okay? Safe travel. Gonna, I don't know, run away, but I feel like there's new opportunities here. And the 8 of Cups is saying to me, yeah, I'm going to move on. I'm going to move on from this situation. I like this healing energy here and the Ace of Swords, because at the very least, you're going to know the truth. So whether you have, like, it could be as basic as not wanting to know how this person feels. Maybe you have the spidey senses that says this person is not really making a commitment. If you're dealing with a Cancerian, I feel like a Cancerian is ending a long-standing relationship. That's what I saw in their reading. And so if that's with you, I feel like some of you haven't wanted to see that. Or if you're the one wanting to go, there's going to be some kind of tipping point here. And I feel like it comes from either children or it comes from gossip, like around town or something like that. But it can feel, all right, wow. I was reading, this is what's coming to mind. I was reading I think this is like a Facebook group that I belong to. I belong to some of these like dating Facebook groups because the stories are like, oh my God. So this one woman saw her fiance, they were getting married very soon, like within the month, saw her fiance's friend out somewhere. And the fiance's friend was like, wow, you are super cool to allow his ex to come on this trip with us. Wow. And she was like, she just kind of played, she didn't really react to it. She was like, huh, his ex wants to come on a trip. And she's like, really? To go hiking, like this hiking camping thing that he had said to her. And his friend, one of the guys who was going on the trip was like, no, we're going to Cancun. We're going, to Cancun. And then she started to kind of get the spidey sense of like, oh, wow, he's been lying to me about this the whole time. And she says, oh boy, that early morning flight is really going to kill you guys. And he said, early morning flight, it's tomorrow. It's not in the morning. It's at like 4 o'clock this afternoon or 10 o'clock tonight or something like whatever it was. It was in the afternoon or vice versa. It was an early morning flight and she thought it was this afternoon, whatever it was. Anyway, so she didn't let on to him that she kind of was like, oh, wow, he's lied to me about this whole thing. Instead, she showed up at the airport when they were going through customs or they were going through TSA. And the look on her fiance's face, like, that's what I'm talking about here. There's something that is like happening right around you. Somebody is not telling the truth. I don't know if it's you. I kind of feel like it's this other person. There's some big karmic justice that is going to happen here. And I feel like you're going to deliver it. Because there is somebody that you might be thinking is a good person and they're really doing a lot of stuff behind your back. So much about Saturn and Aries is about, I am going to be my own champion and I'm no longer going to do things that are going to be harmful to me. I'm going to put in the hard work and effort to move forward. And I'm seeing it right here about truth and about, this is like validating your intuition. You might have had some spidey senses about something recently, and I want to validate that for you. Okay. I want to validate that for you. So let's keep going. I'm going to look at what's going on in the astrology. So I'll talk more about that and then we'll see how this plays out. But I do really feel like there's a conflict coming and there's going to be an opportunity for you to move on from this situation. And I feel like there's good stuff coming. So this feels to me like if you're not doing the work, you will have done the work by engaging in this conflict, by saying that's not good for me, or that's not enough for me, or I'm not into third parties, or I don't want to deal with this anymore. I was blind, but now I see. All right, so let's keep going. Aries, if you want to continue on, if this is your reading, link is below. I'll see you over there. All right, I hope you enjoyed that video. If it was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and sharing it with anybody who might have a need for similar kind of information. And if you like this video, check out these videos.